Well, I'm Degendra Rana. Good morning. So, taking up today the deposit insurance system. Deposit insurance system. The Reserve Bank of India asked deposit insurers and other financial safety net participants to put in place frameworks to manage the failure of deposit taking institutions and prevent potential contagion effects. So, with the rapid digitization of the financial transactions, the crisis can propagate quickly, requiring emergency liquidity assistance and preemptive interventions in troubled institutions. To deal with the emerging challenges, the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation, that is DICGS, is prioritizing risk management, including contingency planning and crisis management frameworks. It is imperative for deposit insurers and other financial safety net participants to put in place frameworks for crisis preparedness and management that enhance their ability to manage the failure of deposit taking institutions while mitigating potential contagion effects. The crisis trend to propagate quickly and hence must include augmented provisions of emergency liquidity assistance and preemptive interventions in troubled institutions. The digital payment space is undergoing a silent revolution. So, in over 70 countries today, domestic payment reach their destination in seconds at near zero cost to the sender or the recipient, with the growing availability of instant payment systems. So, deposit insurers are having to re-evaluate operational risks posed to depositors and member banks from the emergence of these 24/7 payment systems. While digital innovations can ease the cross-border supply of financial services, they can also increase the likelihood of deposit insurers being exposed to member banks with a significant share of non-domestic depositors and additional challenges in the case of a payout following bank default. A significant share of non-domestic depositors file the insurers and other financial safety net participants to put in place frameworks to manage the failure of deposit taking institutions and prevent potential contagion effects. So, with the rapid digitization of financial transactions, the crisis can propagate quickly, requiring emergency liquidity assistance and preemptive intervention in troubled institutions. To deal with the emerging challenges, the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation is prioritizing the risk management, including contingency planning and crisis management framework. It is imperative for deposit insurers and other financial safety net participants to put in place framework for crisis preparedness and management that enhances their ability to manage the failure of deposit taking institutions while mitigating potential contagion effects. So while digital innovations can ease the cross-border supply of financial services, They can also increase the likelihood of deposit insurers being exposed to member banks with a significant share of non-domestic depositors and additional challenges in case of a payout following bank default. In fact, the increasing ambit of cross-border banking activities makes cross-jurisdiction cooperation between deposit insurers and other financial safety net participants all the more relevant. So, the global financial landscape is changing rapidly, and for deposit insurers and other financial safety net participants, it is a race to stay ahead of the curve amidst these tectonic shifts. So, DICGS covers 1,997 banks, comprising 140 commercial banks and 1,857 cooperative banks. The largest number of deposit-taking institutions covered by deposit insurance in the world, second only to the US. So currently the deposit insurance coverage limit is rupees 5 lakh or approximately $6,000. Fully protects 97.8% of deposit accounts and 43.1% of deposit values. As on March 31st, 2024, interim payments were made to 3,76,661 depositors amounting to rupees 5,359 crore. Basically, what is deposit insurance system that you have to understand? Because the deposit insurance system is a system established by the government to protect depositors against the loss of their insured deposits placed with member institutions in the event of a member institution failure. The commercial and Islamic banks that are member institutions of PIDM are also referred to as member banks. As an integral component of an effective financial safety net, a deposit insurance system enhances consumer protection by providing explicit protection to depositors. So depositors will know when, how much and how their deposits are insured in the event that a member bank is bankrupt or is no longer viable. So in Malaysia, the deposit insurance system was brought into effect in September 2005 and is administered by PIDM. So benefits to depositors are there because these are protecting the depositors. As far as India is concerned, deposit insurance, as we know today, was introduced in India in 1962. India was the second country in the world to introduce such a scheme, the first being the United States in 1933. So banking crisis and bank failure in the 19th as well as early 20th century, that is 1913 and 1914, had from time to time underscored the need for deposit protection in India. So after setting up of the Reserve Bank of India, the issue came to the fore in 1938 when the Travancore National and Quillen Bank, the largest bank in the Travancore region, failed. As a result, interim measures relating to banking legislation and reforms were instituted in the early 1940s. For the banking crisis in Bengal between 1946 and 48 once again revived the issue of deposit insurance. It was, however, felt that the measure be held in abeyance till the Banking Companies Act 1949 came into force and comprehensive arrangements were made for the supervision and inspection of banks by the Reserve Bank. So in 1978, the DIC and CGCI were merged to form the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. Consequently, the title of Deposit Insurance Act 1961 was changed to the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation Act 1961. So the merger was with a view to integrating the functions of deposit insurance and credit guarantee, prompted in no small measures by the financial needs of the erstwhile CGCI. After the merger, the focus of the DICGC had shifted on to credit guarantees. This owed in part to the fact that most large banks were nationalized with the financial sector reforms undertaken in the 1990s. Credit guarantees have been gradually phased out, and the focus of the corporation is veering back to its core functions of deposit insurance with the objective of averting panics, reducing systematic risk, and ensuring financial stability. So the deposit insurance is still continuing by this body, and there is a limitation as such, because the types of banks, deposits, and fundings, and the entire funding, everything has the protection. That means type of deposits covered. DICGS protects deposits such as savings, fixed, current, recurring, etc., except the following types of deposits that are payable in India. And these are deposits of foreign governments, deposits of central or state government, interbank deposits, deposits of state land development banks with the state cooperative bank, any amount due on account of any deposit received outside India, any amount which has been specifically exempted by the corporation with the provisions with the previous approval of Reserve Bank of India. So each depositor is insured to a maximum of rupees 5 lakh for both principal and interest amount held by him in the same capacity and same right as on the date of liquidation, cancellation of bank's license for the date on which the scheme of amalgamation or merger or reconstruction comes into force. The deposits kept in different branches of the banks are aggregated for the purpose of insurance cover, and maximum amount up to rupees 5 lakh is paid. So banks have the right to set off their dues from the amount of deposits. The deposit insurance is available after netting of such dues or more, and the deposits with federal banks are insured by the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation subject to the terms and conditions. So this is the system of deposit insurance in India, which is prevailing, and the continuity is there as far as the deposit system is concerned. Reason being it was introduced in 1962 until it is continuing with the efforts of RBI, and every account holder is protected for an amount of rupees 5 lakh. So deposit insurance is calculated by adding all funds held in the same ownership type and the same bank. So if the funds are in different types of ownership or deposited into other banks, they would be separately insured. So this scheme covers all commercial banks, including branches of foreign banks that operate in India, local area banks and regional rural banks also. Also, a state, central, or urban cooperative bank whose local cooperative societies act has been amended so that the RBI can make administrational changes falls under the scope of this insurance. The DICGS does not insure primary cooperative societies. Any amount due to any deposit received outside India is also covered. So the deposit insurance scheme is compulsory, no bank can withdraw from it. In addition, DICGS provides printed leaflets to insured banks. The depositors should ask the branch for this leaflet if in doubt if a bank falls under insurance coverage. So DICGS will pay the amount of each depositor within 2 months of the receipt of the liquidator's claim list. So bank deposits are not risk-free. What if your bank goes bankrupt? The Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation, a subsidiary of the Reserve Bank of India, runs a deposit insurance scheme that provides insurance for all banks. So the maximum limit per bank account is rupees 5 lakh. So in case of bankruptcy, if a person holds over rupees 5 lakh with one bank, they are only entitled to rupees 5 lakh including principal and interest. So for insurance coverage, deposits held in different bank branches are combined and up to rupees 5 lakh will only be payable under the insurance coverage. Thank you very much.